Greetings, humans! Zbot1496 here, coming to you from Zogplex, with our review of a human rectangular entertainment form from Earth year 1989, with a special edition released in 1993, The Abyss, recently re-released on 4K UHD disc. The Abyss is a true highlight of human self-awareness, in that it presents a decidedly introspective perspective about first contact with alien intelligence. The tension lies in each group involved trying to understand the intentions of the other. Like Starman, this is a refreshing departure from the typical framing of the other in stories about advanced non-terrestrial intelligences, or NTIs, as we are collectively referred to in this film. In addition, the film manages to offer its more balanced perspective without a polemic finger-wagging delivery. Oh, and by the way, the 1989 film introduced the first CG sequence realistically integrated into a major motion picture. We will certainly explore all of these elements a bit more, but first, some context. As mentioned, The Abyss released in theaters in 1989, as one of 3 films about a dangerous, monstrous presence at the bottom of the ocean. Movie studios would sometimes match each other's concepts. For example, when 2 similar movies about animated, anthropomorphic ants came out the same summer. But 3 similar films were relatively rare. Deep Star 6 and Leviathan both came out in the spring of 1989, and both were middle-of-the-road sci-fi horror films that seemingly impacted the audience's willingness to go a third time into the ocean to face killer alien water monsters. The marketing campaign for The Abyss, or at least the first trailer, deliberately masked the intent of the NTIs and their form, and had sinister music cues throughout that trailer. These factors, while helpful in avoiding spoilers, certainly presented The Abyss as more of the same. This led to a lackluster global box office of merely $89 million total, a setback for writer-director James Cameron, whose previous film Aliens had doubled that revenue, and his next film True Lies would triple that revenue. His following film Terminator 2 broke box office records, becoming the 3rd highest grossing film up to that point, with $520 million worldwide. This would give him both the technology and the studio deal to go back and complete a special edition of The Abyss, which was released in 1993. This special edition runs 30 minutes longer, but unlike most special editions, like that of Aliens, where the extra footage extended or restored existing character and plot scenes, this special edition of The Abyss restores a complete plot thread that seems fundamental to the theme of the film, giving it far more dimension and impact. It provides the most dramatic delta between theatrical release and special edition that we can currently recall from our dataset. So, let's talk about that film. Ed Harris and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio play estranged couple Bud and Lindsay Brigman. Pushed back together when their experimental underwater oil platform becomes the only option for an urgent military operation. Their relationship is the emotional heart of this film, where inexplicable encounters begin to add up around the very hazardous realities of underwater survival. Bud and Lindsay have their own lives and motivations, but thread back together as they fight, listen, and accept each other under the most dire circumstances. This relationship and the focus of drama and action around them keeps the film grounded and relatable to any being, which ultimately is the point of the film, on more than one level. But before we get there, the film derives realism from the rest of the characters at the bottom of the ocean with us. Bud leads a crew of blue-collar workers reminiscent of the crew of the Nostromo from Alien. Leading the military team sent to deal with the situation is Cameron regular Michael Biehn, but unlike his roles in The Terminator and Aliens, plays a much more unsympathetic character. However, like in Aliens, the team overall has nuance and variation in how they approach the changing realities around them. This diversity of characters and responses gives the film a depth, if humans can accept the pun, that works well in the isolated abyss of the ocean trench. How each deals with the literal and figurative unknown is as much the point as the Bud-Lindsay relationship at the center. Now, one major theme of the film is that our actions define us. Bud and Lindsay have to act on their convictions to make sense of the inexplicable events unfolding around them. The rig crew collectively have to act on their own, once cut off from the surface, and so do the military. Plus, we have to address the third group in play here. Since we are about to describe something that some might consider a spoiler, let us level set here. We set the spoiler bar where the studio's marketing machine sets it. If it's in the trailer, the main trailer, or the poster, or on the home video box art, then it's a promotion and not a spoiler. We do have more thoughts on the matter, and we may do a dedicated video on spoilers, but we want to stay on track here. All of this is to say that the NTIs are that third group in play. The promotional materials heavily hint that the NTIs are not ghoulish monsters like in Deep Star 6 and Leviathan. We do not actually see them directly in those promotional materials, but we do see their ethereal grow. And the trailer includes, the main trailer does include the celebrated scene of a water tentacle mimicking Lindsay's face. This is the breakthrough live-action integrated CG scene we alluded to earlier, that won the film and ILM's Dennis Muren another Oscar, and set the stage for CG in Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, and effectively all special effects from that point onward. However, setting that impact aside, the scene demonstrates play as a form of first contact, a wonderful choice by Cameron to show the value of connection through delight, especially when language lags behind. What happens next is gated behind the spoiler wall, but we can say that everyone's actions form the basis of how they are seen and acted upon. That theme operates on a personal level in the theatrical release of the film. In the special edition of the film, that theme operates on a systemic geopolitical level as well. The film was made during the Cold War, the existential standoff between Earth's two nuclear superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. The special edition leans heavily into showing us escalations that take place among all the groups in play, raising the stakes and making a dramatic impact on the resolution of the film. This isn't mere nuance, but the restoration of the originally scripted and shot narrative. It brings forward an incisive and meaningful perspective on the human rush to war and the human ability to value life. This restoration isn't tacked on, but more organically fills out the story threads and beats, complete with a payoff for the water tentacle scene that wasn't there in the theatrical version. One is instead left with the impression that the theatrical release is the awkward, tinkered-with version, and that the special edition is the true, authentic version. As noted above, this theme represents a stunning level of self-awareness by humans. You are clearly aware of and thinking about your species' instincts to aggression. Being able to admit and shine a light on flaws is an important and necessary first step in overcoming them. And art, especially science fiction, is where humans can reflect more critically on their own world. We are thrilled to be able to own this film in 4K quality at long last. There are, however, a couple of issues that impact this moment. The first is a technical controversy around this home video release. As mentioned in our Aliens and True Lies reviews, this release arrives with some community feedback about the remastering process and outcome. A new dynamic noise reduction process has been used to modernize and sharpen the look of the film. This has the consequence of rendering several human faces as flat and waxy. However, out of the 3 discs, the issue is least visible on this one. We only noticed it twice, and then only on background characters. There's a distinct possibility that this is also a case of knowing too much and looking for things that are actually present generally but haven't been pointed out to us. We are good to let it go. Another issue, though, is the availability of the discs. We ordered all 3, Aliens, True Lies, and The Abyss, as Amazon pre-orders. They were supposed to arrive on launch day, March 12th. Instead, they actually arrived on March 14th, 15th, and 18th, respectively. This delay is not because Amazon must transfer physical goods to Blue Origin to deliver to our space station. As reported by Bill Hunt at the Digital Bits, a leading resource on physical media and friend to spacefaring ventures, this shipping lag was a function of low inventory, experienced by many humans trying to buy these otherwise commodity goods. We theorize that the algorithm that sets printing runs for discs is based on initial box office revenue, which would impact The Abyss the most. This, of course, ignores the quality of the special edition, now free of the surrounding deep ocean monster movies, and an excessively pruned theatrical release, to say nothing of the pent-up demand for not releasing an HD version of any kind, let alone a late UHD release. And that raises the 3rd issue. Having the special edition in 4K HDR available in the distribution format of your choice appears to be a luck of the draw kind of thing. The physical UHD disc has the special edition in 4K HDR, as does Apple iTunes streaming. But between the non-streaming maximum bitrate options of physical disc or Kaleidoscape download, only the physical disc has the special edition in 4K HDR. As noted, we consider the theatrical release to be the inferior version, and at this point would only recommend it only watch the special edition. Hopefully, all the distribution platforms get the 4K version of the special edition at some point in the future. But for now, we are glad to have the physical disc in our possession. So, let us provide our contextual assessment of The Abyss Special Edition. Given the film's universal theme of actions defining both individuals and societies, presented with suspense and excitement, we give the film our highest positive rating. And so concludes this human version of our review. If you have feedback on it, please write in your comments so that we can upload the galactic version to Zogplex. You can expect more reviews of 4K discs, as well as theatrical releases, as we continue to engage with your human rectangular entertainment. So please watch, like, subscribe, and comment so that we can continue to have the human voice reflected in the cosmos. Until next time, farewell, humans.